So in this video, we're going to be breaking down Justin's transformation, his growth in the last couple of months with us. So Justin, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Excited for this.
Okay, dude. So where are you from and what exactly is it you do?
Where I'm from, like physically.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. I don't know if you're asking like my niche or like where
Yeah,
I'm
like
from, but
yeah, first one, let's hit it off. How old are you? Where are you from?
gotcha.
Location, and what do you do niche wise?
Cool. So I'm 25 years old from United States, South Louisiana. My niche is I help YouTubers quit their 9 to 5 jobs to go full time on YouTube. I've
Mhm.
been doing YouTube for full time for 2.5, closer to 3 years now. Um, and yeah, it's an interesting story. I don't want to bore you with all the details, but basically, I was forced, I believe, guided by God personally, to get into online coaching and help other people do what I was able to accomplish. So that's currently what I do. Um, any other questions that I didn't answer?
No, but feel free to give us a brief overview of your background and what you're looking to do.
Yeah. So my main goal with this would was to number one, get rid of the mental clutter. When I first joined, I had a really big problem where I wanted to scale really badly. And every time I sat down at my desk, I felt like there was a million things I needed to get done. And whenever that's the case, you're just not able to get a single thing done. Like I wasn't able to start anything because I wanted to do everything at once. And my brain was just like, I need 100K a month, I need 100K a month, I need 100K a month. And there's just so many things I need to do to get there from where I was. So when I joined, I was at like 20, 30K a month. And I just wanted to get 100K a month, and I was just dead set on it. And there's just so many things I need to do, and when you sit down, there's a million things that you feel like you need to do at once. It's just impossible to get anything done. So that was
Mm,
number one, solve that problem. Number two, obviously, would be to actually scale it to 100K a month. Those were really the main two priorities, like fix the mental clarity problem, and then fix the scaling problem.
yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, bro. And before you started, um, what were some of the things that you tried to make your way towards the 100K a month, but also like try and clear the mental clutter?
Yeah. So number one that I tried to clear the mental clutter, and it actually worked pretty well. I just needed extra guidance on it, was tiering out the tasks that I had to do every day. So like we talk about a lot. What I like to do, I don't like to use calendars for some reason. Every time I use a calendar, Google Calendar or anything, it feels very restrictive for me. So what I
Mm,
like to do is every night before I go to bed, I'll write out every task that I need to do the next day in a journal, physical paper, and tier them out. So I have tier one work, tier two, tier three. Tier one is the most important task that I need full energy, full focus for. That's what I do first thing when I wake up before I do anything else, before I eat, before I work out, whatever. Tier two would be not as important, but I still need a good amount of energy. So that would be after I eat one meal, after I go for a run, take my dog to the park, I come back and do that stuff. And then after, I go to the gym and then I kind of just relax and chill for the rest of the day, and that would be more tier three work. So that would be responding to people, responding to text messages, just stuff that I don't need to be super locked in, super focused to get done. So that's what
mm,
I tried before, and it was working pretty well. I just needed extra help to because
yeah,
it was just getting to an overwhelming point.
yeah, got you. So yeah, like talk to me about like your first month as well. Like your first month, like what did we do to try and help you solve that challenge, and then what ended up happening?
Yeah, we really got clear on the tiering process for that, for what I like to do. Another thing that you taught me that was super helpful was the reframe framework that you gave me. That was
Hmm.
probably the most helpful thing that you've done so far, other than the call that we just had, where you told me about the mind dump thing. That was also very helpful. But the reframe thing is probably the most important thing. There's so many thoughts in my brain at all times trying to discredit what I've achieved. Always, it's always been like that. I've literally been like that since I can remember, growing up playing sports in high school and everything. Every time I would do something great, hit a home run, make a nice play, I would always just discredit it, say it's luck. Same thing with business. I hit a record month. I just say, oh, it's only because one of my YouTube videos got a bunch of views organically. That's not replicable. It's not like I scaled ads and then made more money. I just discredit it over and over again. You made me
mm,
kind of realize that I'm doing that, and that just took so much overwhelm off my plate that I was already, that I was experiencing when I first joined.
mm, mm. Awesome, bro. Um, and I'd love to hear as well. I know it was like a 57K month, which was like back end and front end, but now you're coming up on like another record this month as well, right?
Yeah. So when I first joined, I was hovering between 20 and 25K most months.
Uh,
And then after I joined, we launched a back end offer that, we hit another 20, 25K a month, but then the back end offer just went ballistic, like crazy. Like I sent it in our group chat, just seeing if like a couple people would bite, gauge interest, see if it was even something that we should explore. And just everybody DM'd me back and they're like, we want this, we want this, we want this. So I added like an extra 30K in revenue. So yeah, I don't know if it was first or second month that I was with you, but pretty sure it was first month. We ended
yeah.
up hitting 57K. And then this month we hit another record month for front end revenue so far. So that's at like 28.5 for just front end. And
Mm,
then, my closer's on a call right now. Hopefully she closes that one. And I got a couple more calls tomorrow before the month closes out. So hopefully we cross over that 30K front end revenue, which I've never hit before. So that's
mm.
awesome.
Yeah, and there was some like even like questions around like your closer taking calls and stuff as well when we were at the start, and now she's just in like full flow taking
Yeah.
like 95% of the calls, right?
Yeah,
So,
man. There was a lot of questions just about, how hungry she is, how much I should invest into her because I don't know if she actually wants this. And you were just like, bro, just have the conversation with her. Like, you just told me how to have the conversation. I had the conversation, and ever since then, it's been perfect. Like all up from there.
mm, beautiful. So now you're on your progress. Like, what do the next 12 months look like for you? Now you're like progressing, you're hitting
Yeah.
record months each month.
So every time I hit one of these records, it doesn't really feel like an amazing achievement or anything. It kind of just feels like it's supposed to happen. And I
Mm,
think I don't know what the exact shift was that made that the case. Because before, like when I hit my first 10K month, I was the happiest person on earth. Like I was like, let's fucking go. Like I was super excited. But now I'm just like, okay, 30K month, like I'm supposed to do that. Um, and that might be because of the reframing framework that you gave me, where it's like, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to be here. This isn't a fluke, this isn't luck. So now I keep hitting these milestones and kind of like smashing the previous records. I
mm.
mean, in 12 months, man, I see no reason why everything stays the same. I'm very superstitious. I hate saying predictions like this. So if everything stays the same, God willing, I don't see any reason why I can't be at 500K a month in 12 months.
For sure, bro. And you know what's cool about this? I heard this quote on a podcast the other day. It was actually Alex Hormozy, and he was talking about he was watching a podcast on Joe Rogan from David Goggins, and David Goggins kind of just having these moments where like people are like, "Wow, how do you do what you do?" And he's kind of like, "Because I'm fucking David Goggins, bitch."
Yeah,
It's kind of like that, right? It's like I'm fucking Justin Starrett, bitch. Like this is what I do. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, man. That's a huge shift. I've never felt like that before, where it's like this is what's supposed to happen. Like I'm supposed to be doing this. So
Mm,
it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
mm. Knowing what you know now, if you were to do the neuroproductivity work and the work that we've been doing together all over again, what would you do differently?
So if I joined knowing what I know now, what would I do differently from day one?
Yeah.
Dude, the reframe thing is just the biggest like cheat code I feel. So I would do that. I would tell you to tell me how to do that from day one because it. I don't think you realize like how important that was and how big of a problem that is for me. I don't think I realized it either until you started talking about it. That would be the biggest thing. Like stop self sabotaging by discrediting your prior achievements.
Mm,
And it came at a perfect time because I started hitting, I've had a lot of achievements recently that I 100% would have discredited. And I still find myself doing it, but now I'm able to identify it pretty quickly and say, like, no, stop doing that. You sound ridiculous, you know?
yeah. That's cool, man. Some really good feedback as well. So, what do you think has been your favorite part of the program, the process? I know you talked about the reframe, but I'd be
Yeah.
curious on anything else.
I would say my favorite part would probably be number one. I don't know how it's going to be in the future. I don't know when people are going to be watching this, but right now it's 1-to-1. So like we hop on one-on-one calls and you help. I don't know how long it's going to be like that, but I actually love that a lot.
Mm,
Number two, you have a lot of experience and a lot of different. You've been around. You've done a lot of different things. So basically, every single question that I ask, you've either experienced it yourself or you know somebody who has experienced it, you coach somebody who has experienced it, whatever, you have something that you can give me. Worst case scenario, you just send me a resource to somebody else that you know who has dealt with the same problem. So it's like everything that I ask, you have some kind of answer to help. That would be the main two things I think. The one-on-one help, not just on calls, but in DMs and everything, is great. And then number two, just the experience that I have access to through you is pretty awesome.
mm, mm. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool feedback. And like the one-to-ones are pretty chill as well. Like I'm literally like, especially because you message me typically at the time when I'm on my phone the most, which is like during my lunch breaks. Like I'm just like going back and forth with you, which is pretty
Yeah.
sweet. So
Yeah, I'm like late night in the gym, just like mind racing about how can I scale to 100K a month, just texting you back and forth.
yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff, and it's cool as well because um I'm able to not just give you like the yes man stuff, like, oh, you got like an achievement, like, well done. Yes, it's like I'm asking you, like, how do you feel about it, right? Like, how do you feel about that? And then, like, with your decisions, like mapping out pros and cons, or like, what if this went wrong, or what if this went really well? So it's cool to be able to, as a coach, give you those perspectives as well, and then just see you show up and do the work is sick as well. For anyone who is trying to achieve a similar level of success as yourself, what's one thing that they should avoid?
Don't, well, this sounds so obvious, but don't allow yourself to become overwhelmed. It seems so simple, right? But it's really not. The whole time that I was overwhelmed, a lot of us we see, all this stuff happening on Instagram, on YouTube, all these people flexing, the cars, the Stripe payments, all that stuff. So it seems very achievable, and it 100% is. But if you try to do it all at once, you're
Mm,
never going to make any progress. That would be the number one. Dude, just don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed. The best way to do that is by hiring somebody. It genuinely is. Just hire somebody to help you out with it. A lot of I forget whose quote this is. I think it's Naval's quote where he says most entrepreneurs don't need business advice; they need therapy, and it's true. Like having Luke to talk to. I'm not saying this is therapy, but it's close to it, dude. Um, Having Luke to talk to through the business problems that I have is really just priceless. Even if he didn't talk back, it'd be priceless. Just having somebody to talk to about it. But yeah, the advice that he gives, and yeah, I would say avoid overwhelm at all costs. However much it costs you, however much time it costs you, just chill. If you're overwhelmed, you're not gonna make any progress, man. I was so stuck.
mm, mm. Yeah, and this is quite a funny thing. I know we did actually, because some of the stuff that we do is like therapeutic based, but
Yeah,
do you remember when we did the little like inner child thing where I got you to like
yeah,
stand up and sit down type thing?
yeah.
Like, how did that help you, and what did we do? Like, what was your perspective? Because I know that's like definitely something new to you and a lot of people listening. Like, I'm in the spiritual space as well, so like I'm used to people talking about inner child work and emotional regulation and trauma work and nervous system regulation. But for someone like yourself who's like new to the space, can you give sort of like your lens on what happened and how that helped you?
Yeah. I've heard people talk about it. You would call that shadow work, correct?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit of shadow work as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've heard people talk about that before, never experienced it before. It was just cool to be able to understand, have a deeper understanding of kind of like why I am the way I am now. And there was some things that I already knew going in, but I definitely did discover new things as well. And I think a big part of it is, forgiving prior self for certain things, but also giving advice. When I heard the advice, it sounds so weird. It sounds so weird coming out of my mouth, but when I heard the advice that I would give to my prior self, and then some of it I wasn't even following currently, it's like, dude, it just becomes so simple what I need to do. But yeah, that was a good experience. I honestly like to do it again and go further into it because that was cool.
Yeah, dude. Well, you know what I've been thinking for your inner work is we'll do another like stage with the processing side of things, but I also want to map out all of your limiting beliefs um and give you another technique similar to reframe, but it's a little deeper level, and then we'll do an emotional release session, which is what I got my training on here in Bali. So we'll do an emotional release section, which takes us pretty deep. And dude, like when we do these future retreat things, we could do one in person, and we can have you doing some deep, deep, deep stuff, which will be
Yeah,
really
yeah, that'd be
life.
crazy.
So yeah, that would be fun, man. Yeah, things that we're cooking up in neuroproductivity. So next question I got for you is, can you give one piece of hard tactical advice to anyone who's listening that might be looking to step forward?
Tactical advice. Yeah, the biggest roadblock for me was the mental part. But if I'm thinking tactical, I would say make sure your leadership skills are really sharpened. You're not going to be able to go. You probably could, but I didn't personally want to go to 60K. And I'm doing other things that are not coaching. I'm also making a lot of money from YouTube too. And that also, I have to have a team to run my channels and everything. So having a YouTube team, having a team that runs the coaching business, you have to get pretty good at leadership. You're not going to be able to go to that point by yourself. Um,
Mm,
so make sure that you're a good leader and not just solo. You can do the solo thing, but if you actually want to get to where I am, like the 57K, that's in the coaching business, but then you add on like a couple like 20, 30K from YouTube as well, you're not going to get to that point by yourself. You're just not going to get there by yourself. Get good at leadership, get good at hiring, understanding who is good to hire, who is bad to hire. There's so many tips that I could give, man. That's
mm,
the biggest leap that I have made recently, though. Like from 20, 30K a month to 60K, 70K, whatever, has been leadership. That's been the biggest like piece of growth that I've had
mm,
tactically. Outside of myself, the overwhelm thing, overcoming that was the biggest thing by far. Tactically in the business has been leadership, making the
mm.
right hires, having the right meetings, saying the right things to motivate people. You know, that's all. That's been the biggest leap.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. How do you? That's cool. Because yeah,
Yeah,
leadership is a lot about like leading yourself as well. So it's like, can you lead yourself to go into the shit that you don't want to face, so that then you can help your team do that? Like we literally had a chat today around one of your people that's going to be moving into a possible different position, and then it was a similar thing a while back as well with having a harder conversation with your setter that is also now closing as well. And it's possibly moving into a position where she's just going to be closing. So yeah,
yeah,
well, it's not possibly, like it's on the way, it's in action. So
yeah.
um if anyone was like on the fence about reaching out to me or booking a call with me on my team, seeing where this video is at in its time, what would you say to them?
I would say scaling to this point, I don't think I've done anything special. I don't think I am rich or anything. I think I've done pretty good. And scaling to the point that I'm at is all I can speak to. It has been 90% mental. And I would assume that it's the same way to get from where I'm at to 1 million a month has been 90% mental. And I don't know of anyone who could help you out mentally more than Luke could. But I mean, it's obviously not just mental. Like he also helps with the tactical stuff. But for me, the biggest part was the mental piece, and I don't think anybody could have helped me more than Luke has. So if you're on the fence, thinking about it, if you if you feel like your mental is holding you back, which it 100% is, because like I said, it's 90% mental to get to where I am and further, then yeah, you gotta at least reach out, talk to him about it, see what happens, see what comes of it. Worst case scenario, you're not a good fit to join, and nothing happens, but at least have the conversation. You owe it to yourself, I feel, to just see.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, rock and roll, bro. Love that. Appreciate that and receive that. So thanks, man. We're both in the energy of receiving compliments. So, um,
Yeah.
so if people are interested in connecting with you, they have any questions for you, where can they find you? Where's best?
You can DM me on Instagram. It's Justin Does YouTube. Some idiot stole my actual username. So it's Justin JSTN does YouTube, no U. Somebody has the U and he impersonates me. If you want to check out
Familiar.
my if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's Justin Does YouTube, just spelled out normally because nobody stole that one. But yeah, I can't believe I don't, it had to be somebody that I know because they did that as soon as I started my coaching business and started a new Instagram. And they stole my username. It's
That's
ridiculous.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
You tried like DMing them, being like, "Give me my name."
No, dude, at first he copied my bio and everything. He's like, DM me
Gnarly.
YouTube to get started. So he's trying to scam people. But now
Uh,
he's like deleted everything. He just holds the username. I think he wants me to pay for it. I'm not paying.
and you probably pay and he won't even give you the fucking name.
Yeah, probably, dude.
Be like $100 scam, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'll take all this money," and you're gonna be like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
That's so funny. But yeah, bro, I appreciate this interview. It's been awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share about your journey or you think would be helpful to anyone watching?
The biggest piece of advice that I could give is just get mental clarity. That's been the biggest part. I feel like I've hammered that home enough on this interview, but I don't think I can stress it enough. If you don't have mental clarity, if you don't know exactly what tasks you need to accomplish every day, daily task, week task, monthly task, yearly task, quarterly task, whatever, if you're not clear on it, it's just not going to happen. So you got to get that mental clarity. Don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed because that's when you start spinning your tires and you're just never going to make any progress.
Mm, yeah, rock and roll. Hey, bro, appreciate you. That's the end of the interview. So yeah, if you're hearing what we said, you love the chat, you love the energy. Booking a call down below, hit the link. Don't waste my time. But yeah, worst comes to worst, like Justin says, we can just have a chat. Like I'm not gonna pressure you to sign up if you don't want to, or if it's not a good fit for me. Like I only want to work with you if energetically we're a good match. And it's kind of cool, like what Justin said. Like, yeah, we had the thing where I tried to get Justin to use the calendar, but ultimately, like, we're gonna find what works for you and your time and freedom. I'm not gonna force you to do things that you don't want to do, but I will give you a kick in the ass if, like, I don't think right here, bro. Um,
Awesome.
so yeah, bro. Thanks for